up, guys? It's your boy Tyler bringing you fundamental news on the 19th of May 2023. Today's article is brought to you by Forbes. Why is the dollar so strong right now? The US dollar is hot these days. It's creating both risks and opportunities for investors. As an investor, you generally want to be more vigilant when investing in companies that do business overseas due to the relative value of the US dollar. Changes in the dollar's value can have a big impact on a company's international sales, since it can erode their competitiveness in any market whose currency is cheaper than the greenback. In contrast, certain stocks have a track record of being held by the rising dollar. We name names later on. We also look at ETFs whose value is directly linked to the dollar by tracking the dollar index, which measures the value of the greenback versus a basket of 6 foreign currencies. Likewise, we tell you which ETFs benefit indirectly from a strengthening dollar but betting against weaker foreign currencies. How is it strong? The US dollar index started 2022 in a solid uptrend from late April through late September. The DXY, as the index is often called, ripped to 20-year highs. US tourists traveling abroad were big beneficiaries, but the dollar's rapid climb pressured earnings growth for US companies that have overseas units. The dollar started to cool in the final quarter of 2022 as the Federal Reserve hammered rising inflation with interest rates increases. So far in 2023, inflation and interest rate expectations have whipsawed back and forth. The dollar has responded largely in kind. In early March, the dollar hit its highest level since November, before investors' concern over stability of the US banks triggered a sharp reversal. The US dollar index is down 2.5% year to date as of May 12 and has lost 1.9% over the past 12 months. With the US economic outlook for 2023 uncertain, the path for the dollar could have significant implications for inflation, international trade, technology stocks, and fiat currency alternatives such as gold and Bitcoin. While the dollar's value rises, US investors typically measure the value of goods, services, and investments in dollars, but the buying power of a single dollar also changes over time. A stronger dollar reflects an increase in the dollar's value relative to other currencies around the world. There are a number of reasons the dollar gains strength in the market. In the past year, the Fed has raised interest rates 8 times to a current target range between 4.5 and 4.75. Well, guys, those numbers have changed. The recent numbers, I think it's 5% to 5.25. In an aggressive attempt to curb inflation, the higher interest rates rise, the more demand for the dollar there is from international investors seeking yield. Why? As the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis explains, if the Fed raises rates while other central banks maintain or even lower their interest rates, then the return on savings is more attractive in the US than in other countries. Given this higher rate in the US, international capital flow from other countries to the US, resulting in the dollar's appreciation. The dollar is also the world's reserve currency. Investors see it as a safe haven during periods of economic uncertainty and stability. Investors concerned about a global economic downturn, the war in Ukraine, or recent failures of US banks such as Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank and Silvergate Capital can seek shelter and security in the dollar. Also, investors sitting on the sidelines and waiting for a better time to buy stocks can currently earn an interest of 4% or higher on the dollar in top high-yielding savings accounts. These accounts are essentially risk-free for balances of up to $250,000 per bank, as long as the bank is insured by the FDIC. How strong is the dollar? The widely traded currencies that the dollar index compares the dollar strength to are the euro, the yen, the pound, Canadian dollar, the Swedish krona, and the Swiss franc. Investors can also monitor how strong the dollar is relative to specific currencies. Here's how the dollar compares to major currencies as of May 12. Euro dollar, 1 euro buys $1, 0.9 pennies, now compared to 0.4 a year ago. Dollar yen. $1 buys 134 yens versus 128 a year ago. Dollar Swiss franc. $1 buys 0.89 Swiss francs versus 1 franc a year ago. Pound dollar. 1 British pound buys $1.25 now compared to $1.22 a year ago. USD CAD. $1 buys $1 Canadian dollar and 35 cents now compared to $1 Canadian dollar and 30 cents a year ago. In the most major currency pairings, the US dollar gained strength over the past 12 months. Looking ahead, LPL Financial Chief Global Strategist Quincy Crosby says the strength of the dollar will continue to be tied closely to inflation and interest rates, while the Fed remains steadfastly data dependent. The dollar's course as well remains focused on inflation as the Fed's monetary policy response, Crosby says. There you have it, guys. Today's news on why the dollar is strong.